Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the next exciting chapter of Dreams of Infinity. I am Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and magic keeper, and joining me around my virtual table tonight are Ashleyien, Hana, Kira, Los, and Tensei. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
They're so good at that. Now, before we begin, we do have a few announcements to get through, starting with the first of our two sponsors for tonight's show, Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop minis with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-use design tool lets you build your perfect miniature online using a fully 3D in-depth character creator right in your web browser, which is where we build the tokens for this evening's game. You can build yours today at HeroForge.com. Our second sponsor for tonight's show is XSplit. XSplit is a high-quality virtual webcam background remover that works with your already existing webcam. You can use this program to protect your privacy while you work or play remotely by blurring the background, removing it entirely, or even putting your favorite picture as your background instead, like what I do. You can download the app today at xsplit.com, and if you use the coupon code RANDOM with a capital R, you can get 10% off of your purchase. You can find our referral link in the show description. Last but not least, the Fab 5 will be back at its regular time this Monday at 7 p.m. Central. Now you can keep up to date on everything we do on the network by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. And that's going to do it for these announcements. So join us as we return to Loropa City and continue on with the Magi-Knights as they investigate the Dreams of Infinity. And we're back. So, before we begin, I am going to make one more announcement, and that is that Stephen Parker, who had played Levi in the previous episodes, has decided to step away from this campaign to deal with some other stuff. We wish him the very best, but he will no longer be continuing with this campaign. However, we do have a new player who's going to be joining us in 2 weeks' time. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, as you all know, in this campaign we do our recaps a little interesting. Whoever does the recap at the start of the session will receive the Random Rhapsody coin, which they can redeem some point in this session for one free reroll. Now, if I'm the one who does the recap, I'm going to get the coin. And I'm going to use it to make our players have a very bad day. And they don't want that. So somebody else is probably going to do the recap today. And that person just happens to be...
Me.
Melody. So, Melody, tell us what happened last time on Dreams of Infinity.
All right. So, Bianca, the girl with way too much enthusiasm for her own good, invited us to the Ghost Hunters Club. Damian was instantly crushing on her and wanted me to ask if she was seeing anyone. And they tried to offer me tickets to one of their soccer games in return. I'm the girl who couldn't even properly climb down a fence, so it should be pretty obvious that sports are not one of my interests. However, they also offered me their undying love and appreciation, so I'll be sure to use that to my advantage later. At the Ghost Hunters Club, I met a lot of overly eager kids that made me wonder if they don't get out much. But Kaori is pretty cool. She gave me more hope for the fashion sense of the people in this city. We watched some episodes of Paranormal Seekers, and I was as bored as I always am in Mr. Appleman's class. I just really don't like PE. But until we saw a clip of until we saw a clip of a real ghost outside of a coffee shop, then it started getting pretty cool. But poor Kat got scared and ran out of the room. I need to take her with me to the graveyard next time I visit. Sorry, she made me laugh. I lost my spot. Oh, that will help her toughen up. One good thing that came from attending the club was that I learned about a haunted tree that was taken down by Ptolemy Lumber Company. So we're all going to try and investigate that later. We discovered that David is old friends with Mr. Ronin, and he's pretty secretive about it. But he did tell us that Mr. Ronin is a Magi-Knight doing his own investigations too. I have a weird impulse to ask Mr. Ronin to team up with us, but I'm ignoring it for now. David also told us that the end game for Magi-Knights is to take the fight to the outsiders. I look forward to that. I bet they have great interior designers there. One thing I'm uncomfortable with, though, is that David sacrificed the stability of his soul crystal for the Wanderer to be able to turn us into Magi-Knights. I like people owing me favors, not vice versa. I'm going to have to rectify this somehow. I also realized that David and I have something in common. He lost someone he cared about when one of his old Magi-Knight friends sacrificed himself for the team. Death always takes the best people. If Death were an outsider, I bet David would take him on with me. Aisha learned that the Wanderer is skilled at derailing a conversation when it means he can avoid giving us direct answers about outsiders, though. So I'll have to come up with a plan to get him to introduce us to Death. At the Sacred Hearts...
Yeah.
At the Sacred Hearts Church, we saw depictions of a strange tree with a door in it, and Kat discovered it was even in the church's pamphlets. I hope to find some answers in the church office, but apparently I stink at picklocking. I need to make friends with a convict so they can teach me everything they know. Well, that was pretty much everything that happened. Hope you'll enjoy the next episode.
Well done, Melody. There you go. There's a random Rhapsody coin. Don't forget to use it. It only lasts the session.
Okay.
Well, so, Magi-Knights. So we're still in our investigation phase. And while Kat, Melody, and David are at Sacred Hearts Church, let's go ahead and turn our attention to Aisha and Damian, who have driven back across the river and are just arriving at Ray's used bookstore. Now, for those of you who've lived in Loropa City for some time, you've probably at least driven by this 2-story cinder block building at some point in your lives. It's kind of inside a strip mall a few blocks away from your school. It's not connected to the building. It's just kind of one of its standalone things that's in the same parking lot as a strip mall. As I said, it's a 2-story cinder block building with faded gray stone, but in the very front, there's a large window that's been cut out and filled with frosted glass. Now, on that frosted glass, there is a monogram of the logo of the store, which is just in big, bold, kind of blocky letters that reads, Ray's Occult and Used Bookstore. In very faded painted letters that is kind of chipped and worn in several places. Now, next to that window is a single wooden door painted in a dark red color with a black trim. And it also has a frosted window inset into the door itself. That window is currently illuminated and can easily tell that it is actually open for business. Although, it does also, disguise the features that are inside of it. Now, the day's rain is finally beginning to let up at this point, and it's slowing to a soft drizzle. You both step out from Damian's car and make your way towards the entrance of the bookstore. And as you do so, you both can't help but notice the dark scorch mark on the sidewalk, about a half a dozen steps away from the door. Even with the pavement as wet as it is from all of the rain that's been going on, you can still see the very clear signs that someone has tried to clean away that dark smudge at some point, but failed miserably at doing so. Melody had made mention of that stain, and that it was something the Ghost Hunter Club had talked about in the club that day. It was the location of a ghost sighting that the Petersons had caught on camera. But since then, the Ghost Hunter Club had told you that when they themselves went, it was there was nothing there. It wasn't active. But once you step through the door, which jingles with a little bell that's over the doorframe, you find a brightly lit interior that is filled with row upon row of shelves, filled to near overflowing with books. On the left-hand side near the window, there is a long, low counter with a cash register and a television on it. And seated behind that counter, you can see two people. One is a tall, blonde, muscular young man with bright blue eyes who is talking animately with the young woman with brown hair that's done up in fun buns on the side of her head. Now, Aisha, you would immediately recognize this to be Yuna Song, the girl who was upset at lunch today. She's currently looking a lot happier than she did the last time you encountered her. She's laughing heartily and talking to the blonde man, and her hand's kind of on his shoulder a little bit as the two of them chat. But as you both step inside, she and the man looks towards the door and the two of you, and Yuna gives you both a smile. She says, "Welcome to Ray's Used Bookstore. Come on in and get out of the rain."
Thanks.
So, Magi-Knights, what do you want to do?
What do we want to do?
I want to start by browsing specifically to try and see. It's kind of following a hunch that they might have like an information booklet or something about like a membership card or something like that, or like customer accounts.
You're looking. You're looking for a customer card?
Yeah, like something like information about like a loyalty program or something.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Go ahead. And give me a perception check.
Oh, it would help if I actually opened the sheet and didn't just go to the tab.
And while you're doing that, I'll show you the guy that is currently next to Yuna.
Oh yeah, I'm so bad at this.
Would I recognize Levi?
I find nothing.
Go go ahead and make a hey, I remember you roll, which is literally just a D100.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 1 after my -2.
That's a 64.
64. So, you do not recognize him at all. He seems a little bit older than you, maybe by like a year or two. Aisha, you're walking around just around the shelves, which it's kind of like a maze in here. Some of the shelves are really tall, almost head level to you, while others come up just below your chin. But they're like mismatched and put in weird arrangements, so it's like kind of wandering through a maze. You do not see any sign of anything that's talking about a loyalty program. And instead, what you're seeing is a lot of dust, as though like the place is cursory cleaned, but not really religiously cleaned. And you can tell it's a used bookstore. It's not like a Barnes and Noble or anything like that, where they have where it's corporate and they keep track of things like that. This is a used bookstore owned by a local family.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I keep doing this. I am going to walk up to. Oh my gosh, why am I struggling to remember her name?
Yuna.
Yuna
Song. I'm putting a picture up on my Roll20. There we go. I'm gonna walk up to Yuna and say, "Hi. I don't know if we've met before. Should I do a hey? I remember you."
You don't have to. You already at least know who this person is.
Are they interacting? Are her and Levi interacting? Am I interrupting?
They were talking when you first walked in, but the moment you walked in, they both stopped and called out a greeting to you. So it's kind of like an invitation to come up to the counter.
Okay.
So you walk up and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" And she kind of smiles and says, "I'm doing very well, thank you. Is there anything I can help you find? We have a lot of a lot of random books, and it's a little bit of hodgepodge and everything. But if there's something specific you're looking for, I can usually help you find it."
Pause real quick. Metagame question.
Yeah.
We all talked about what happened at the ghost hunting club, right? So we're all like, I'm on the same page that there was a ghost somewhere outside, caught on video, and the like brothers team was there. I forgot their name. I'm sorry. The Brandon brothers or something like that.
The Petersons.
And
Brad and Chad.
Okay, Brad and Chad. That's what it was. And the other thing that I was filled in on was Aisha chatting with Yuna about Ronin and the book, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Everything was communicated across the team.
Yeah.
Just
so
sure
just to remind you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so just to remind you, Yuna went out there, was talking to him. He said something. She got pissed off.
Yep.
She later told Aisha that she had to go talk to him to tell him that a delivery was ready for him.
I was making sure we're on the same page. That is what I'm going into this conversation with. Do I see like familiarity between these two, or does it seem like they're talking shop?
Make an insight check.
Where is my... There it is. Sorry, just a moment. Insight. There you are. What is that? That's a 6.
She's kind of cute. He's kind of cute.
Friendly banter. Cool.
There's some friendly banter going on, but that's kind of all you pick up.
Cool. I'm gonna walk up and say, "Hi. I really hope I'm not interrupting here."
Oh, not at all. We're always happy to help. I've seen you around school before. You play on the soccer team, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna open up so that I'm chatting with kind of both of them in a way, not just I'm gonna say, "Yeah, my name is Damian. You can call me Dame if you want." And yeah, I play on the soccer team. I just wrapped up soccer practice and was hanging out with Aisha. and she told me that she bumped into you in school. And I have a rather out there question for you, if you would humor me. And I'm trying to like be a little charming, but like, it's not like my strong suit or anything. So
yeah, no, I get what you're putting down. She says, oh, well, she kind of looks back to the boy, and he kind of gives her a bit of a shrug, like, whatever. He says, yeah, my name's Levi. It's nice to meet you. I don't go to Coltrast. I actually graduated last year from Loropa High, but
oh, cool.
I've seen some games over at Coltrast with Yuna here, and it's nice to meet you too. And Yuna, she's like, I suppose you can ask me a weird question. What's going on?
Levi's saying that he went to Loropa. Does he look athletic? Can I tell if he looks athletic, or does he?
He looks very athletic. You can tell without any sort of role. He is built like a bodybuilder, actually. He has very swole arms. His whole chest is like, he wears a t-shirt, but it's a cut shirt, so like it's so tight you can see the ripples of the muscles, which is probably the point.
Looking at the like characters thing, like his neck bones are so like or neck muscles. I'm gonna get distracted and turn to him and be like, Loropa, you graduated from Loropa. Do you know the soccer coach there?
Coach Philpotts. I know the coach there. I didn't play soccer. I've played football and knew him a little bit. Yeah.
Are you still like, are you like coaching the football team or anything? Are you like involved at Loropa?
No, not really. I'm actually a personal trainer down at the Y.
Oh, cool. No reason. Had some weird, so the soccer team came all the way up to Coltrast and like started, talking shit and like, it seemed like they were trying to like, throw us off our game before the big game this Saturday. And it's this Saturday, right? Just making sure.
No, it's not this Saturday. It's in 2 Saturdays.
Yeah, in 2 Saturdays. Yeah. Trying to throw us off our game. I'm sure they're trying to psych us out for the game in 2 Saturdays. It was wild. And so like, I'm just trying to figure out, the coach seemed like they're pushing him really hard, and I'm just trying to, get info. So if you know anything, man,
really,
that would be.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, but you can have advantage on this.
Okay, cool. Let me see. Advantage, persuasion. That's a 12.
Okay. Hearing what you kind of talked about, he chuckled a little bit at that. And he's like, Philpotts, really? That's not the guy I know. That's for sure. He's kind of a loser, to be honest. He wasn't really. I never really considered him a very good coach. I kind of thought he was a little bit of a douche, to be honest, because he always was kind of slacking off. He never trained with the students themselves. He always just kind of stood on the sidelines and yelled at them, and he just kind of shrugs a little bit. I don't know. I never really liked the guy. He taught gym, and he was just like the most lazy coach you ever met.
Did you hear the rumor that he might get fired if they lose this game?
That's news to me, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me none. He's been there. God, he was there all my 4 years. I'm not entirely sure how long he was there, but if people are talking about him quitting or him getting fired because he hasn't won, I suppose that does make sense.
Wow.
Him trying to push the team, but I don't know. You're kind of. He looks at Yuna and he says, I don't know. Maybe I should stop by there tomorrow, just see what's going on. It's just kind of bizarre.
It'd be really cool to chat with you afterward. I just, honestly, I was a little concerned because like the energy the students brought when they essentially came to start some shit at our school was really rather antagonistic and kind of heated. And it seemed very out of character. Like it's never happened before. And I think I'm just a little worried about the kids at the school. But whatever, I'm not, I'll take an edge, but I'm not like trying to get an edge. We'll play the game. But like, if you could let me, I could give you my phone number and you could or email or something, and we could, Yeah,
I mean, I don't mind telling you what I find over there. I don't see why not.
Cool. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks. You're a really rad dude, man. I need to take some tips on like how to bulk up. I keep skipping leg day.
Well, if you ever want to train, I do classes. I do spin. I do personal training and that sort of thing. That's actually my main job here. Working here at the bookstore, it's more of a way to spend time with Yuna here, and he drapes an arm across her shoulders in that obvious boyfriend way.
Cool. Fantastic. That's exactly what I needed to see. Sorry, I'm metagaming. But man, that's great. That's awesome. So you work here. Actually, maybe you can help. Like both of you can help me out. So, look, there's this kid. You probably like Aisha told me that you kind of know him. Ronin. Does that name sound familiar? I think it's like James Ronin.
Both of them, like, you watch the two of them kind of exchange a look, and he's like, "Yeah, we know him." Yuna rolls her eyes, and she's like, "Aisha, I told you about him. He's just."
I'm back. I thought I was still in the maze this entire time.
So you're not part of this conversation.
I imagine by this time you've come out of the maze.
I was waiting to
not seeing. Yeah, this is me trying to get you into the conversation.
Thank you.
You critically failed, but you're getting critically saved.
Yeah, he's one of those loner types. Are you just gonna
those loner jerk types more like?
Well, what makes you say that? I'm so curious.
Sorry, Aisha, I was talking over you. What'd you say?
She's gonna give Damian a little bit of a look like, stop name dropping me every time you bring something up.
But anyway, what did you say? What did you ask him, Damian?
How so? What's your opinion of him? I think is what I was trying to get across.
I mean, if you're asking me, this is Levi speaking. If you're asking me, I mean, he's kind of a jerk, but he also trains with me a couple times a week. He's okay. He's more of he's complicated. And Yuna just laughs. Complicated? You mean he's just an asshole? And they both kind of chuckle a little bit at that.
Yeah, so that's what I said, what makes you say that? Like, what makes him an asshole? I'm just curious. I've never actually chatted with the guy. Some of my friends have, and they've had, not great experiences. But, like, what's your take on the guy?
Like I said, he's just an asshole. I mean, he's antisocial. He talks down to people. He acts like he's the smartest guy in the room. Always shows up when you're not expecting him to be there, and he can throw a hell of a kick, I can tell you that much. And he like pats his side a little bit.
Did you get into a fight with him?
Oh, no. Training. He wants to be something called a free runner. I don't know what the hell it is, but
okay.
He boxes. He does, the weird martial arts that I could never pronounce.
Krav Maga?
I don't know.
Did you or capoeira? Do you train with him? Like, do you see him on a regular basis?
I mean, every so often he'll give me a call and ask to meet up and do a couple hours, and he pays well, so I don't mind.
Would you let me know the next time he calls you so that I can tag along? I'd love to see him in action.
That kind of pauses him. He's like, up until now, he's just been talking shit about a dude he knows, and he's like,
"Look, here's the thing.
Why do you want to do that?"
He's kind of like, he makes me nervous. His energy makes me nervous, and I'd like to know, like, if there's anybody to watch out for in school, I'd like to know what he's up to and kind of what I'm up against, because I've never interacted with him, but the more I know about him, like, maybe I can meet him when his guard's down and like find out why he's such an asshole. Like, look, the reason I'm asking is, there's weird stuff that happens around town, and he had this book, and he seems to have some. All right, look, I can't believe I'm telling you this, but I want to trust y'all, right? Like, and I like Levi, like, little metagame. I like Levi. I want him to trust me. Yeah, look, I'm looking up to this guy. He's very attractive, very built. I'm saying, I would like to, oh my gosh. I was at La Ropa High, kind of late night the other night, last night. And I saw some things with the soccer team and the way they were practicing, and James, I think, was there too, spying on the soccer team. For what reason, I have no idea. So I'm really just trying to get info on this kid before I talk to him. And, Aisha mentioned that you got in a heated argument about some book maybe that he had, and I was just kind of curious if he got like the book here and what the book is and if I could get a copy.
So when you say that, she looks over at Aisha and she's like, "You told I told you it was."
Look, she means well.
She
means well, and I just like, if there's any way I can help, I just want to help.
Damian, let me explain. I thought that was in confidence and someone wouldn't let up on why I was late back from lunch. Yeah, however, clearly it wasn't. So, I am sorry, but we are kind of looking into some occult stuff. A couple of our friends have gotten very into the Ghost Hunters Club recently, and there's like a lot of weird stuff going on at school, and school year started weird. Kat, who used to be one of my backup dancers, got into a confrontation with Ronin on the first day, and there's just a lot of weird vibes, and we're just trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm trying to decide what to make you for this. Yeah, it's got to be a deception because there is a lot of lies in that. Though you're trying to use the truth.
Yeah, they can't know where.
I'm not lying. I am. What's the
being
word?
Deceitful.
I'm being deceitful.
Withholding.
I'm withholding information.
Which is why I'm asking for a deception.
I was looking for the thing on the thing.
Yep.
17.
17. She's like, look, I know I was really upset earlier. He's really brusque, and he always acts like he couldn't care less if someone's talking to him. He had a book that he had ordered that got delivered the day before. My grandpa asked me to tell him. He said something that pissed me off, and I was upset. It's not that big of a deal. But I mean, if you really want to talk to this kid, just wait about 30 minutes. He's upstairs with my grandpa right now.
Doing what?
At this, Levi says, well, occult things, obviously. The name's right on the door.
Fair.
And they both chuckle at that.
Fair point. Fair enough.
They both laugh like you can tell this laugh is more of a scoffing laugh. Like they think whatever he's doing is just bullshit, and they just kind of go along with the grandfather because it's a store.
Do you think they would mind if I interrupt?
Oh yeah, they would. This is Levi speaking. Ray doesn't like anybody going upstairs when he's meeting with his clients, and he does, the air quotes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yuna says, look, my grandpa's a little eccentric. He's from the old country, and he's seen a lot of stuff, but he means well, and he does good business, so... But it's all just, hooey. It's stuff to get people into the shop.
I mean, I heard y'all had a real ghost outside. Like, is it really hooey?
You're talking about the Petersons. Yeah, they've been here. They filmed their show. They interviewed me last year when Levi got sick, and she pats Levi's shoulder when she says that. But it's all bogus. It's all make-believe. They do it with holograms and things like that. Everyone in Loropa knows that show is just two dudes spending their dad's money.
So what happened on the floor outside? Like what? Because like...
Who knows? Grandpa came in one day, came outside and saw this big old scorch mark on the ground. He thought it was kids playing with fireworks, and he kind of got pissed off at a couple people because of it.
There's no cameras, I imagine.
Cameras? No.
Gotcha.
Well, the range on our soul stones is like 100 yards, right?
Something about that, yeah.
I want to very slowly lift up my necklace and look at the soul stone on the back of it and see if it's glowing.
Okay. Make me a mysticism check.
Sick.
You pull out your crystal and you kind of subvertly look at it. And at first there's nothing there. It's completely dark. But as you close your hand around it and begin putting it back away, you see a flash of light for a brief second. You pull out your hand and you look at it, and in the very center of the crystal, it's very, very dull, but you can see this pale flash, a flicker. Almost as though someone were trying to light a lighter and it just wasn't going. And you see that little flash, nothing. A little flash, nothing. A little flash and a little glimmer of light. And then it goes out again.
That's not what I was expecting with a 6. Interesting. Try not to metagame.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Do I notice this?
Probably not.
Okay.
The only reason Aisha noticed it at all is when she closed her hand around it, she saw that little glimmer, and then she had to cup her hands together to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was there.
Yeah. I'm gonna readjust my necklace, which I play with all the time. It's completely inconspicuous.
It has grown dark again, by the way.
Outside.
I think we should...
No, the crystal itself. When it kept doing that for a few times, and then it stopped.
I totally interpreted that as outside.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got it.
Good. Thank you for that clarification. I was just gonna say, Yeah, but there's like a psychology to it. Like there's a reason, and people want to believe this kind of stuff. I think that's what leads to conflict. So that's kind of why we're looking into the occult, to try and like figure out what people are seeing in these stories.
Sounds like a good topic for school, I guess. People are always interested in that stuff. You know the Ghost Hunter Club, Bianca De La Luna, she runs it, and they're all about ghosts and the paranormal and the occult too. They come in here all the time and want to buy books about ghosts from Grandpa, and it's kind of weird, but if you're looking for that sort of thing, they're probably a good place to start.
Yeah, some of my friends went to the Ghost Hunter Club. That's they're checking out some other things around town. But I said I would come here and ask about Ronin and the book that he has. You wouldn't happen to have another copy of that book, would you?
Depends on which book. He's
always carrying around.
Actually, it really doesn't. He's bought a lot of books from us over the last like 6-7 months now.
The Never Comic-Con one looks like it's got like human flesh with no words on the spine.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that was something my grandpa had in the store for ages and ages and ages.
So it's real old. Cool.
But there's no other copies.
Oh no, that was a. Actually, I don't think another copy of that book exists. I'm pretty sure it was just some old guy's journal that my grandpa bought off a trader, and I'm pretty sure he never expected to sell it. But yeah, he's bought that one, and he's bought a bunch of other ones. I mean, they're every book that he orders is hard to find. Like Grandpa has to do a lot of searching typically to find them.
Okay. Well, this has been really helpful. I'm gonna look at Aisha and say, should we?
Yeah, we better
to talk to James, or
I was thinking we should go pick up the others. There's a reason we should pick up the others, because
I'm gonna say thank you to Yuna and Levi, and then kind of be like, yeah, let's we're gonna browse a little bit, but we'll get out of here before you close up.
Okay, no problem. We're closed. We close at 9. It's she looks at her watch. She's got about 2 hours left.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I might stick around to like meet your grandpa and maybe finally meet the infamous James Ronin. But I appreciate the help. It was nice meeting both of you. And I'm gonna like motion to Aisha, like let's go browse real quick.
Really sorry, and
I promise, it's good intentions.
Gonna elbow Damian a little bit as I walk away.
I deserve that.
So yeah. Damian, you can add a social point with Levi.
Cool.
Not so much with Yuna. Aisha, you can add one with Levi as well. He seemed to kick it off with you, but Yuna's not too thrilled with you, at least a little bit. So I'm going to say no social point with
That's okay. I took a social point away from Damian.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
I forgot that it was in confidence. That's fair.
That is very fair.
Wow, from 3 down to 2. Fantastic.
Oh no, from 2 down to 1.
So, you all, the two of you kind of separate and walk away from the counter a little bit, and Levi walks over and turns on the TV as you're walking away, and he's like, see y'all later. Yuna, makes her way back behind. There's this little door behind the counter that has a curtain over it. She steps through there and disappears.
I'd like to chat with Aisha very briefly, and just say like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I forgot. Like, I just completely spaced it. I apologize."
It's fine. We have more important things to deal with. I saw a light in the skull gem.
Whoa. But are you still seeing? Can you still see it?
It kind of flickered out.
So that must mean that.
I mean, I could just not be good at it.
I think I'm gonna. If we're in a place like, I'm gonna take Aisha around the corner where we can't be seen, and then I'm gonna reach into my book bag and pull out my crystal to take a look at it. I don't hear anything. Sorry.
Oh,
no.
There you are.
You go behind one of the bookshelves, pull out your soul crystal. There is nothing. There is no light.
Maybe can we call the Wanderer and have him look around? I really want to meet this grandpa and James. Like, I just want to meet them. You know,
yeah. Tell you what, I'm gonna step outside and give a call.
Cool.
To the others, check in with them, and then I'll come back in here and meet back up.
And look, if we need to go, I'm ready. But I just want to get as much info as I can.
You know,
absolutely,
definitely maximize the time. I have a bad feeling.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, Aisha, you're gonna go step outside. Damian, you like kind of look around, and then you're like, "Hey, Wanderer, come here. I gotta talk to you," or something along those lines.
Yeah. Wait. I thought that's what Aisha was doing. Aisha's gonna check in with everyone else, or?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what I thought.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna like, I guess into my communicator, just kind of make sure nobody's around, and just, hey, Wanderer, are you free? Are you around?
There is no response.
Hey, and then to everyone else, hey, has anybody talked to or heard from the Wanderer at all?
I think Aisha was the last one.
Well, as you grab your communicator and start speaking into it, let's go ahead and turn our scene back to Sacred Hearts Church, where David, Melody, and Kat are currently standing inside the God, I'm blanking on the name. What's the room where you go in and to worship? The
sanctuary.
Chapel.
Sanctuary. Thank you. You're all standing in the sanctuary, right next to those double doors, and in front of you is the large stage with the gigantic podium that has that silvery tree etched into it. Standing behind there is about 24 individuals, men and women of a variety of ages, who all had hymnal books in their hands and were singing, but stopped and are currently now looking at you all because the man leading them all kind of turned around, saw you all, and said, "Hi, come on in."
A quick question. I was by the office. Did they see me?
I would say that probably not.
Okay. I think I'm gonna duck.
Well, actually, let's find out. Let's find out first. Because the doors were open. David and Kat had opened them enough to peek through, and the guy saw them. So go ahead and give me a stealth, but you do have advantage because, the doors weren't completely open.
Okay. Sorry, didn't have my sheet open yet. I spaced it.
For shame.
Oh, 12. Did you hear me? I said I got a 12.
Yes, you did. I did hear you. I was rolling to see what the father got. So, the two of David and Kat are standing there. You're towards the back, right by the office, kind of cowering down a little bit. But he's the man in front, which I'll describe for you again. He is a tall man with black hair. He's wearing glasses. He has a black shirt that is buttoned open on the collar and black slacks. He calls out to the two of you, David and Katrina. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Your friend back there behind you, she's welcome too. Please, come on in.
Oh. All right, I'll sheepishly walk over there.
You're old to 14.
Darn.
Thank you. Absolutely. Well, we didn't want to... Never mind, we'll come in. And she opens the door.
And as you open the door... Go ahead.
We heard there was a new church, just checking it out.
Well, new is... I'd say we're kind of new. At least newly reformed is another good way to put it. But yes, please come on in. Everyone's welcome. We are just practicing for tomorrow's worship service. So, always got to get in and warm up the pipes, get ready. So, but if you're looking for some spiritual communion, we're absolutely happy to have you. My name is John Bishop. I'm the pastor here. Have you ever... You say you're just looking for a new church and you heard about us, is that right?
Well, we went to the other church and it was very run down, so we decided to check this one out.
You're talking about St. Mary's, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. We believe that all brothers and sisters are welcome no matter and loved no matter what church they go to, but we're certainly happy when we have newcomers show up here. And as he's saying this, he places the book that was in his hands down on the podium and steps down the steps and kind of is walking down the little aisleway towards you. He turns back and he says, Sister Patrice, why don't you go ahead and lead everybody in the next hymn while I take some time and speak to these young folks. And he kind of gives them a big smile, and you see behind him this really skinny, wiry-looking middle-aged woman steps up and goes hurrying up to the podium to grab that book. She had been sitting in the front aisle of the pews and had been kind of turned halfway to keep an eye on the kids that are playing all throughout the pews and that sort of thing. But you go ahead and give me an insight check as you're all looking at her as she steps up to the podium.
All of us?
Yeah, all three of you.
Ooh, we all rocked it.
Oh. That's very nice.
I had the lowest at 16.
Yeah. Lowest 16, highest 23. You all can easily see that, there's this look of elation on this woman's face the moment she's called out, and she gets up and scurries up to the podium to grab that book. You can just tell she's, super excited to be allowed to do this. The pastor, however, does not pay attention to this whatsoever. His focus is entirely on the three of you, and he comes walking up towards you all, and he extends a hand to you, David.
Like this, or
like
handshake,
a hand,
like
a handshake.
Yeah, okay, yeah, shake.
Yeah.
Very kind of
and
awkward and half limp.
Mm-hmm. He offers to shake each of your hands, and he's. As he does so, he says, again, you can call me Pastor Bishop, or you can just call me John. We're kind of informal here. What are your names?
Yes. Hi, sir. My name's David.
I'm Melody. melody.
It's nice to meet the three of you. You look, and he kind of looks over the three of you, and I think all of you are still in your contrast uniforms. So he or at least most of you, I don't know if any of you changed. I remember Aisha saying she changed yesterday, or earlier today. But anyway, he looks at you all and he says, well, I see you're all students at Contrast Academy. We're familiar with them. We do have a few members here at Sacred Hearts who go there. We do have a youth group that meets Sunday evenings. So we're always happy to have more of the Contrast family here at Sacred Hearts. Why don't you step through here out into the foyer? They're going to start singing here in a minute, and it does kind of get loud, so it'd probably be easier to chat out there. What do you say?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
He leads you all through the double doors just as the next song begins to rise up. Something about praising his name, yada, yada, yada. You know churches. But he leads you all out into the foyer once again, and he says, you know, like I said, we do have Sunday evening youth where it's just for teens, ages 16 to 18 or 16 to 20. After that, typically they join the Young Adults Fellowship. But yeah, if you'd like, I'd be happy to show you around and tell you a little bit about our church.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
He begins walking you around. He begins walking you around and kind of pointing out different facilities. Like, here's the main office. This is our youth center over here. Here's where we do Sunday school, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to give you the full tour yet, but I assume you have some questions for him.
What's this tree?
Oh, the tree here. Yes, the tree. Well, are you familiar with the stories laid out in the Bible?
Some.
Well, you know, trees are very symbolic all throughout ancient cultures. Trees have kind of been revered since the very beginning. In fact, one of the first narratives found in the Good Book talks about two great trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
You're dipping into that.
Here it's
dipping into that religion philosophy degree, aren't you? I love this.
Oh yeah, a little bit. He continues on saying, trees are very sacred among many cultures. You have Yggdrasil. You have the Tree of Life. You have the Tree of Dreams. All of these are found throughout multiple cultures throughout the world. And we believe that the tree is a great representation of the grace that God gives, but also his covenant with us. It represents life and growth, renewal, the turning of the seasons, the turning of the ages. And we believe that that the great trees talked about in the Good Book and in many others are all representative of the same thing. The pathway to true enlightenment, the pathway to the two dreams, the pathway to God. And so we use it in our symbology a little bit. And we find it to be, a comforting thing.
I've never seen that before.
Oh, I'm sure you've seen a lot of different churches that has a lot of different symbols. You said you went to St. Mary's. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a tree in one of their stained glasses.
I didn't.
You find it time and time again.
I didn't notice. It seems to be very prominent here.
I noticed that the one in there was silver. What's the is that like is that important? What's the significance of it?
He tells you, that was a very generous donation from one of our patricianers here at Sacred Hearts. Silver has always been considered a very pure element, a very holy element. It's one of those things that are used quite often in the early church, and we thought it was a nice addition to our overall. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. The overall aesthetic of the sanctuary.
Very different. Used to having crosses and Jesus and stuff, not trees.
Especially
Well, we do have our cross. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, especially the door addition to the tree makes it really different.
Oh yes, it was a neat little flourish that we gave it. It's meant to represent the gates of heaven.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
You have a lot of Cultress students that come.
Oh, a fair few. Let's see. There's the Parkers. There's the Callaways, the Joneses, the Smiths. He begins clicking off names of like half a dozen or so different family names. Go ahead and make a hey, I remember you, all of them. All of you.
Oh god, I've never done this before. It's a D100, right?
Yep, D100.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in a class, your senior class probably has about 200 or so students in it. The other two have as well. There's a lot of names, and some of them, the names he gives are generic, and you're like, I think I know that guy. Is that one dude from... I don't know. Unfortunately, none of you rolled a 75, so you don't really recognize them.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say that the door on the tree was yellow on most of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why is the door to heaven yellow, out of curiosity?
Oh, well, early depictions of the gates of heaven are often described as golden. Heaven itself has been described as the golden city. So we thought gold or that yellow is a good color to represent that. Like I said, the door is meant to represent going in through the gates of heaven, gaining that knowledge and understanding that we as mortal humans cannot possibly gain on our own.
Mm-hmm. What else do you do here other than you have like these singing people and you have the youth group?
Well, we have our services. Let's see here. Yeah, we have our worship services Wednesday, Friday nights. We have on Sundays we have 2. We have our morning service at 9 o'clock, and we have our evening service at 4, which is also when the youth meet. We have our AA meetings. We also have a wide variety of outreaches and things like that. We've partnered with a local restaurant that's pretty well known here in Loropa City, and they're assisting us with our outreach to the homeless population here. We've set up a new soup kitchen recently with their help. I'm sure you've heard of them before. It is I'm blanking on the name. I'm looking real quick. It's have you ever heard of Imperial? It's a restaurant on the upper side of Loropa.
What kind of restaurant? Above board?
I'm going to allow all three of you to make history checks. See if you've heard of Imperial.
We don't have. Oh, you mean like academic arts?
Oh, that's right. I forgot there isn't a history in this.
Purity.
Definitely not purity. That would be a good substitute.
Medicine feels weirdly close in the weirdest way.
To me,
Creativity?
Academic arts.
To know a restaurant?
That's what you roll for history class.
Yeah, that's what you roll for history class. I'm glancing through the... you know what? You can do an academic arts, you could do an investigation. Either of those.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What'd y'all get?
I got 9.
I got a 21.
Fooling everybody.
I roll good when I'm not in school. What the fuck?
David and Melody, both of you have heard of Imperial. It used to actually be another church building that was renovated about 6 months or so ago and opened up, and it turned the chef that owns it turned it into like a really, really fine dining restaurant. Like this is still the late 90s, so I don't think fusion is a thing yet. I think that didn't really start until the 2000s, but it's very, very on that end. It's like actually Charlie. If you've ever heard of Charlie Trotter's, a Chicagoland restaurant that was active in the 90s, it's kind of like that. It's very, very high end. It's very, very pretentious, fine dining food. You've David, you specifically would have heard about their menu. They actually do a 6-course tasting menu that changes every single day.
I was literally about to ask, like, is this the kind of place that would have a tasting menu? Because like that's
yes.
That's.
Go ahead.
David has been there once on his 16th birthday. That was it.
But anyway, it's very, very expensive. It's very, very high end. It's gotten a lot of reviews. It's considered the basically the best restaurant in the Pacific Northwest, and word on the street, you would know, David, is that they're aiming for that first Michelin star.
They deserve it.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you would know about Imperial.
How is it connected to the church?
It used to be a church that was then renovated into a restaurant.
Yeah. But how it's connected to this church is the chef is one of the parishioners here.
Okay.
And the pastor said that they've teamed up to do a soup kitchen to feed the hungry.
expensive restaurant doing a soup kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody better.
So the pastor continues. Yeah, we have a lot of things that we're trying to do here in Loropa City. We're aiming to do a lot of good works, and we're always happy to have the city's youth help out with that. So, let me give you some of our pamphlets. And he leads you back to the foyer and kind of grabs one of the major pamphlets. Like, he doesn't give you the AA one because you're kids and he doesn't assume. But he hands you the rest of them, and including one that talks about the youth group and some of the activities they do, that sort of thing. Now, you've been shown the building and pretty much everything that's going on there. It actually has a ground level as well. He tells you, he doesn't take you down there because all the lights are off, but he tells you that downstairs is some more classrooms for the younger students, and it also has a way to get to their back area, which is where the playground is. But other than that, once he's shown you everything and that sort of thing, this is about the time that you would hear Aisha and Damian on the communicators.
But only we can hear the communicators. Other people can't.
You find out for sure because you hear Damian's voice calling for the Wanderer, and like the priest doesn't react at all. He's just kind of smiling and chatting about the youth group right now.
Okay,
sounds very interesting.
I'll say I think we need to get going now, though.
We'll think about coming back on Sunday.
Well, I hope you do. I'll look forward to seeing you. Make sure to bring your parents, too. We welcome families of all types here.
Of all types. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna...
Thank you.
Turns to follow. I'm assuming Melody's already turned around and walking.
Yeah.
Slightly awkward group.
Coming off of her heels with every step.
He opens the door for you to the outside, and by this time, you see that the rain has petered out to a stop. It's still very wet out, but it's no longer raining. As you step through the door and start kind of walking out to kind of get away from him, get out of earshot so you can use your communicator, the last thing you hear him say is have a good time with your friends, before closing the door. But you watch as he turns and heads back through the double doors into the sanctuary, no doubt to continue on with their practice. It's about 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish by this point when they start talking to you, but go ahead and say whatever you need to say.
How did he know we were going to talk to other people?
Damian, I thought you were going to check out the grandpa. Anyway, I got a weird light in Ray's bookstore, in the Soul Gem. Are you guys okay? Did everything go okay?
Church is creepy.
Went fine over here. I haven't actually seen the Wanderer in a bit. Have any of you guys?
No.
No, I tried calling for him, and the only reason I called for you is because he didn't reply.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that he didn't show up right now when I said his name.
Usually he does.
Oh, hey, David, what's going on? What? And there you see the Wanderer just padding up along the sidewalk. His eyes are glowing green and kind of give a little bit of headlights.
I'm so mad at the Wanderer right now. I'm like a fan. I'm like...
We know who his
what's
favorite
going
is.
on?
I believe Damian was looking for you.
Oh, he was? Oh, that's really weird.
I'm sorry, did I
didn't hear
miss the first name of the? Is that Hey Wanderer?
Maybe
Hey
maybe he can't hear you in the bookshop. Maybe the bookshop has anti-wanderer.
Yeah, I'll say, hey, I'm at the used bookstore, and I could, Aisha really needs to chat with you if you can make your way over here.
Oh, yeah, that bookstore and me, we have a hard time.
What do you
with
mean?
one another. Well, so you know how I said that people can sometimes use magic if they find the right spells and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
I mean, the old man there, he has that place so warded up that I don't think anybody could get through. Well, anybody like me, anyway.
What? Yeah, I'm waiting. A quick metagame. I'd like to be positioned like near the stairs that go up to the second story because I assume there's only one set.
So there is one set. I never really explained where it is. It's actually behind the counter. There's that door there.
Can we say
but there's
that?
there's no staircase. So
can we say
other
that,
than the room, other than the room, which has all the bookshelves and the counter, you can see there's one single door that leads to the back, and it's kind of clearly their living space. Like as Yuna walked through those curtains, you could see that there was like a kitchen area back there, and you probably caught sight of part of the stairs, maybe.
Sure.
But
yeah, I was gonna say,
like it's not an area you could access.
If Yuna was like they're upstairs, could she have like pointed, behind the curtain, or is that not like a natural? Like, is it like I get? Well, let me put it a different way. If I've walked to the store and not found stairs, is my logical conclusion that it's behind the curtain?
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm gonna say, I'm hanging out by the entrance. Like I want to meet this grandpa, and James Ronin is apparently here meeting with the grandpa, so I'm kicking it here to like chat with him. But that's good to know. Thanks for the info.
The cat kind of has this blank look on his face for a second, and then he's just like, yeah, well.
Well, since we have your attention for a moment, our soul stone should only be able to detect outsiders, correct?
You're standing outside of the bookshop, and the cat's ear kind of twinges a little bit, and he's like, oh, well, I mean, for the most part, yeah. If somebody's doing some odd magic or that sort of thing, could your soul gems detect it? Possibly. Maybe a little bit. It's kind of complicated, to be honest. But I suppose if it flickered, like you said, there's if it's not actually glowing, it's probably not an outsider. Maybe it had something to do with that bookshop.
The bookshop sets off the stones.
I'm gonna pull out my soul stone and just keep observing it, kind of hidden in my hand, but just keep an eye on it and see if anything changes while I'm waiting for the grandpa to come down.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask the Wanderer while he's sitting here?
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything about the church to ask him. He probably doesn't know.
Doesn't hurt.
I don't know.
Wow, I've never been to this church, if that's what you're asking.
I don't know.
Is it similar to the bookstore? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, can you sense anything here? Is there anything weird you can't go in, or?
The wanderer kind of sits there and focuses a little bit as you ask that, Katrina. He looks over at the church. No, I'm not sensing anything. I don't think it's like Highlander. Like, there isn't holy ground per se that bothers me. I mean, I'm standing right here after all. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of creepy that they're singing. Like, can you hear them?
I have a question. Does these hymns sound like normal church hymns, or are they odd in any way?
How familiar are you with churches and
I don't know how familiar Kat is.
I think a good question.
And there really isn't a religion check, is there? No, there isn't.
I think a good question would be just what are the lyrics weird? Like,
yeah, I think I'm going to use an insight check for this.
Just Kat?
I'd say Kat and David, because David heard some of them too. You were more focused on trying to pick the lock.
Okay.
I like to fail. This is not something David would know or be able to pick up on.
That's fair. That's fair. So what did you roll, Kat?
14.
Okay. With your 14, I'm going to say that they're definitely unique. You've been to a couple churches, though. You may whether or not you consider yourself religious is a choice only you can make. But I would say that you've heard at least some hymnals of different churches from time to time. And for the most part, they kind of go along those same lines, but they're definitely unique, as though, like, they're not songs you've personally heard before from the sampling that you've gotten. And it seems a little odd, a little what's the best way to describe it? With your 14, I'm going to say that what the main thing that you pick out is that churches typically, when they're singing, when they're doing worship, they're doing songs of praise. The songs that you heard were less about worship and more about what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptance and God, I have this word like right on the tip of my tongue and I can't get it out. Don't you hate that?
Annoying.
Can you say other synonyms?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull out other synonyms that too.
Inclusivity?
Yeah, I think no, not inclusivity. I would say acceptance and submission. That's the word I was looking for. Submission.
Oh no.
Okay.
That is not the word I wanted to hear.
Kat will mention, well, the lyrics are a little weird. It's kind of sounds.
It's a BDSM church.
I want to see that. I wanted to see that hymn book, but it was just too far away. I wish he brought it closer.
Is it like submit yourself to the Lord, or is it a secret second option that I can't think of?
Just general submission, being submissive.
Submit yourself to him.
You hold on. Let me write this 30 line hymn real quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll wait.
We're waiting.
It's less submission to it. Like that's the thing. You don't hear him specifically reference God or Jesus or anything like that. The tone of it is more through submission comes absolution.
Mm.
Yikes. That's it. We found it. Let's go take him out.
We already knew.
Nuke it from orbit.
We found a cult. I don't know if it's the cult.
This might not be an okay.
I mean, I'm literally just describing evangelicalism. I don't know what you guys got so worked up about.
This is based on like magical girls and like toku stuff and that sort of thing. There is only one cult per season.
There's definitely not.
That's lending an air of legitimacy to the church that I am not comfortable with. All right, we'll let it roll this out later. I don't want to
Yeah. Please don't at me.
You can at
We're gonna have a good decompress after this show.
Atlos, PDX homebrew on everything.
Hey, you're mad at Damian, okay? You are not mad at me.
I'm not mad at anyone. Okay, back to the game.
Yeah, speaking of back to the game, as you're all Aisha and everyone's been talking over the communicators, you're kind of walking down the sidewalk away, David, Kat, and Melody, to get away from the church. That way they can have more of a full conversation without any prying eyes. Well, Damian, you've kind of positioned yourself at the front counter and, just kind of shot the shit with Levi Parker for a couple minutes after, and then you kind of ducked down and did some communications as he was walking away.
He's so hot.
And so, isn't he though?
He's taken.
I know.
But as he's doing so, you do hear the sound of a door closing from somewhere beyond that curtain. A few minutes later, you hear footsteps coming down the stairs, and you can hear hushed voices talking back and forth.
I'd like to try to deliberately hear better, if possible.
Perception check.
Fantastic. That's a 3.
You hear nothing but footsteps.
Yeah. Too distracted by.
However, yeah. In that moment, as like you're trying to strain, Levi comes walking around through the curtain again, and he apparently spilled some of his water that he went to go get a drink. He just spilled it all down his front. His whole front shirt is soaked and just clinging a little bit, and that catches your eye, and you hear absolutely nothing.
Dying.
However, about 2 minutes later, you see 2 individuals stepping through the curtain. The first is short. He is an old man. He's obviously Korean. He has wrinkled skin. He has very, very thinning gray hair on the top of his head and dark eyes. He's wearing just a simple t-shirt and jeans, but he's followed by the person that you've been wanting to see this whole time, James Ronin. James, as I've described many times, is a tall, lanky young man with dark hair that's kind of pushed over in that emo style to cover half of his face. He wears glasses, he has dark green eyes, and that perpetual scowl on his face.
Oh man, dark hair and green glasses, dark hair and green eyes. I am done for. As
they're stepping through the curtain, you can hear him saying to the old man that I appreciated Halabioji. I'll see you again here real soon. And the old man says, of course, Ronin. Let me get that book for you before we leave. He goes puttering around to the counter, and in that moment, he sees you kind of leaning there against the counter, and he says, "Oh, we have another customer. Levi, have you been taking care of him?" At which point, Levi says, Yeah, Ray, I've got it. He's just been hanging out here, wanting to talk to Ronin over there.
Actually,
at which point,
I'm going to interrupt.
James.
Can I interrupt Levi before he says that, or?
He said that, and then you can interrupt.
Okay. Actually, I'm very curious to make your acquaintance, sir. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of James around town, but I'm talking to the grandpa now. I'm like, I have some questions about some goings on, that I've been witnessing, and I'm wondering if I might be able to lean on your expertise.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
That's an 11.
11. He gives you kind of a weird quizzical look, and he says, "Just one moment, kid. Just one moment. You go stand over there."
Sounds good.
And he kind of points to one corner of the counter. You watch as he goes behind the counter, ducks down, rummages around for a moment before pulling out an object, a parcel wrapped in brown paper and tied with twine. He picks it up, stands up, and walks back over to James, who, as your eyes meet him, he's looking directly at you with a raised eyebrow. His glasses are kind of down a little bit, and he's giving you this, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
I'm gonna wave. Okay.
He just rolls his eyes. He turns his attention to Ray and accepts the package and says something, but it's really quick and it's in another language, and you didn't quite catch what it is he said, because I doubt you speak Korean. Or I could be wrong, but you never know. I shouldn't judge.
No, he
But
doesn't.
he mutters something, nods his head, and without another word, turns and walks towards the door. While he's doing that, Ray turns and walks back to the counter, places his hands down on it, and he says, "You Coltress kids, you come in here all the time and wanting to ask questions. Sure, I got a little bit of time left before we close up. What can I do for you, kid?"
Between you and me, I have this very sneaking suspicion that magic is real, because I've seen some really weird stuff. And I'm not talking about sleight of hand. I'm not talking about misdirection. I'm talking about real, like the Ghost Hunters Club, gets made fun of a lot, but I think they're actually onto something, and whether it's magic or spirits, or there is something going on, and there's something weird happening in this town, and I want to learn more. I need to know more about it. And you seem to be the expert on all things weird, all things not of this world. And I'm very curious to know where to begin.
You can make another persuasion check. This time you get advantage on this, because you're buttering him up a little bit.
22.
With your 22, he gets this big broken tooth grin. You can see that maybe a quarter of his teeth have rotted out, and you can tell there's marks of where dentures should be, but he's not wearing them, which gives that really weird gum and tooth kind of vibe that always creeps people out, me included. But he's like, "Oh, yes, you've come to the right place. I mean, the name's on the building after all. Ray's a cult."
Does this guy have Master Roshi energy?
Less Master Roshi energy, more a mix of Ray Stans and the dude from Gremlins.
Nice. Okay. Perfect.
He kind of chuckles and he's like, "So, you want to learn more about the occult, the paranormal? Well, you're right, of course. This city has seen some of the weirdest things out there. There's ghosts here. There's demons. There's spirits on every single corner if you know where to look for them. So what's your interest in it? You trying to be the next Peterson brothers? You trying to get into the Wiccan and stuff like that? Are you going for more of a deep dive into the ancient stuff?"
Oh, I've been hearing about some dark happenings around town. I think the Petersons might be onto something, but I don't think they actually know what they're doing. And the
Petersons are idiots.
Yeah, I think you know what's going on. And look, this is my home. I want my home to be safe. And if there's anything I can do to help people be safe, I want to do it. So if you can help me keep my friends, my family, and the people of this town safe, then that's what I need. That's what I want.
Well, keeping yourself and your friends safe, first thing you need to learn how to do is... And then he begins to start talking. A lot.
Okay.
A whole lot.
Oh, no.
And it goes on for quite some time. He begins talking about how to make spirit bags that can protect you from all sorts of different evils and things like that. He begins talking a little bit about voodoo practices and things that kind of protect you.
I'm going to take notes on all of
that sort of thing.
I'm going to take my goal is to get this guy to trust me. So I'm going to seem as interested and studious as I would in a class and just be like, this is my new special interest. I'm taking as many notes as I can.
Okay. And you do so for the remainder of your investigation phase. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of a download on the information he gives you later on. I'm not going to do it right now because I just realized it's 7:45 and it's perfect time to go on break. So we're going to be back in about 10 minutes, folks. And when we return, we're going to check back in with Aisha, who was outside the bookstore and has probably seen James walking out. So stay tuned. We'll be back very soon. Welcome back, everybody. When we last left off, David, Katrina, and Melody are hot-footing it away from the Sacred Hearts Church. Damian is having some very introductory lessons from Grandpa Ray. And Aisha, you've been standing outside the bookstore, and you are talking to the group on the communicator. And once you finish that up, you actually hear the door to the bookshop open, and out walks James Ronin. He still has his school uniform on. He still has that hoodie on underneath his blazer, and you're kind of just standing over to the side of the building, not far from the door. He kind of glances back and forth, sees you standing there, and turns and walks the opposite direction, away from you down the sidewalk. He also, he does have a parcel under his arm, and with his other hand, he reaches back, grabs his hoodie, and pulls it up over his head.
So
what do you do?
Is he walking like southeast or east?
So if you, judging based on the map and where the bookstore is, let's say he's going to the west.
Oh. I think I'm gonna casually follow in that direction, but specifically, I want to try and test the theory and see if I get the same light if I focus on him and look at the soul crystal.
Okay. You're following along behind him. Are you doing so like unobtrusively, or are you just being casual about it?
I think it's like casual, like the arcade's that way, etc. Like it's a direction you might go.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. I just wanted to know if I needed to roll a stealth, if I needed to ask for a stealth check or not.
No.
But I don't. So you're making your way. He is walking in that westerly direction. You are walking as well. You pull out your soul crystal and kind of glance down at it, and it is dark. It is not lit up at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just gonna continue following him. I'm not like, based on everything everyone said, if he doesn't know you, like talking to him is too much of a gamble. So instead, I'm just gonna see if I can see what way he's going until it gets like a little too far. She'd probably follow for like upwards of 20-25 minutes.
Okay. Well, at first he walks in that westerly direction, going a little bit towards the southwest. But after about a block, he turns and heads north. You follow him along an alleyway between a couple buildings, and he turns again, this time going east. You continue to follow him, and he goes down about 2 blocks and turns south.
Sure.
He continues to walk, turning then west again at the next corner.
He's messing with you.
Yeah. I feel like, to confirm this, she was like, it feels like it's going in a circle, and she would just kind of like try and go backward. Like, say we're both going clockwise on this circle that you have just described. She would start counterclockwise it to see if he keeps doing that.
So you're going to turn away from him and start walking counterclockwise?
Yeah.
Okay. You turn and start going counterclockwise. And you realize that as you're passing the next intersection, there's Ray's used bookstore again, just a block down to the west of you.
I love it.
He's such an asshole. Jesus. Probably critical, like rolled a nat 20 on his perception.
I mean, I wasn't trying to hide. I got information. I was successful in my mind.
Mm-hmm. So you went one way, he went the other, and you kind of stopped there, and you're looking at Ray's bookstore. Are you gonna? Are you because you said you wanted to go counterclockwise, the opposite direction of where he had gone previously. If you continue, go ahead.
I was gonna say, looking at my watch, how much time has probably passed?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, I continued the counterclockwise then.
Okay. You continue to go counterclockwise and follow the opposite of the path that he just took you on.
Yeah.
And after about another 6-7 minutes, you arrive at the other side of Ray's bookstore once again, which is because he literally just led you in a big loop around it. He, however, is nowhere to be seen.
Okay. With that in mind, I'm gonna head back into the bookstore.
Okay.
testing the theory
And about that,
whether or not it was a patrol route, or if he was trying to mess with me and or get me off his trail. It's probably.
What would you like to make an insight check?
I would like to make an insight check. I have an opinion, but confirming it would be cool. I'm gonna roll 0 on this. 8.
It's difficult to tell. Bunch. Yeah, you're really not. It's difficult to tell.
2 wisdom mod.
You're legitimately not sure if he was just screwing with you, or if he was walking around doing a patrol, or if there is some other reason that he was just doing this big loop-de-loop. But you do walk back up to the door and open it just as Ray is kind of shuffling Damian out the door. Your head is filled with Wiccan hoodoo and a little bit of oddity, and he's given you a little package of what he tells you is white sage.
Was there anything of value in what he shared? Does anything stick out to me? As like, I should check with a wanderer about this.
Not really. Again, you said you wanted lessons, and he was kind of talking to you in a very general and broad sense of, hey, this is like what magic is, in my opinion, and this is how you protect yourself from bad vibes and bad spirits and that sort of thing. But like, as you're finishing up with them, you do get the sense that it was more of a, like, he was giving you general basic knowledge, that he was very, very like enthusiastic about talking to you, and he was very, very much wanting to tell you things he knows, but you can't get everything he knows from a 30-minute conversation.
I think I'd like to, and you know, I don't want to stretch this out any further, but I think I'd like to impress upon him that, like, look, this is great. I appreciate what you're providing me, but I feel like I could have found most of this in an encyclopedia book. Like, if it's just basic facts about, you know, different types of magical practices and things that I could do. I'm looking for like you know, and then I'm going to say, like, James has this book that looks like it was made from, like, leather, you know? Like, you clearly, you know more than just this. Like, what do I have to do to, like, you know, really, really learn? Like, do we need to meet up, you know, upstairs? I'm going to say, as if, like,
if you're wanting to learn the same, like, look, I don't know what you know about James over there, but he's been coming to me for a while, and has been, he doesn't take lessons from me. He just orders things, and we help each other out every now and again. But he's not, like, I'm not his teacher. He's not my student. I don't really teach, like, a lot of metaphysical stuff.
So why is he coming to you? Like what are y'all talking about upstairs? Like,
I really don't think that's any of your business.
I understand. I need to chat with James myself. There's no,
like, if you're looking to learn about things, like, I could order you a book or two that can get you started on some of the more esoteric kind of things. If that's really what you're looking for.
Can you get me the same books that James has ordered? Because I'd like to get to know him better, and being able to have books that he has read that I can also, you know, read, and it'll just help me have something more in common with him. I want to be his friend.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a persuasion check. I'm going to give you one more, but he's not
I hear you.
He's kind of got a sour look on his face right now.
This one's not with advantage, then, I imagine.
No.
It's a 17.
17, that's pretty good. He tells you, look, I appreciate you wanting to get to know somebody, you know, and he kind of puts a grandfatherly arm around your shoulders, but like he's shorter than you, so he's kind of having to reach up to do that. He says, look, he's a cute boy. I get it. If you really want to get to know him, your best bet is, you know, trying to talk to him. I'm not in the habit of giving out the confidential information of people who shop here. If you came to me and wanted me to order you a book, it would be in the strictest of confidences, just the same as any other of my clients. So I can't really just say to you, hey, I'm good, I'll give you the book list of somebody that somebody's ordering. If you come to me with a specific request, I'm happy to fill that out for you.
I understand. That makes sense.
What I will tell you is this, is that he has an interesting library. Some of the things he's gotten from me are one of a kinds. If you really want to get to know him, your first step is, you know, speaking to him.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I hope you have a good night. I'm gonna leave.
He pats you on the shoulder. But fortunately, because you rolled so high and he is kind of feeling sorry for you, he's getting a different vibe of what you're trying to do. But you leave without losing any social points with him, so that's a good thing.
Do I gain any?
You didn't gain any,
I understand.
but you didn't lose any, which is where you were almost at.
Nice.
Well, my goal was to get Damian out of the bookstore, so if he's coming at us and going in, I would follow him back.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he's coming out right as you're going in. Yeah. And now he opens the door, you both stop there, and you're like, oh.
Who's coming in to the store? James is?
Aisha's coming in just as you're coming out.
Yeah.
I'll say, hey, Aisha, let's go pick everyone else up.
Yeah, we can have a little talk on the way there.
Is James still within eyesight?
Oh, no, he's gone.
Okay, got it. Yeah, cool. Then let's get in the car.
Aisha tells you about how she was following him but lost him fairly quickly.
Gotcha. You didn't talk to him?
That has not gone well for anyone else. I'm not gonna...
But you're Aisha.
I'm not going to... Actually, let's talk about that for a bit. Do you know what an idol's number one job is?
To be famous?
It's a lie. I used to think it didn't matter what I did backstage, but that was wrong. You have to manipulate information to stay on top. And I'm not going to show my cards too soon. If you reveal your hand before it's ready, all they're going to do is know when to bet and when to fold. So you need to keep information at your chest and not just give it up willy-nilly to everyone we speak to.
Noted.
Anyways, also, he was totally fucking with me, and I was not in a good mood, and I did not want to bring that energy to that conversation.
All right. I'll take a crack at him tomorrow. And I'm sorry about spilling the beans to you, Nat. I just forgot. It won't happen again.
Yeah, just consider you need permission to provide information we give you, not the other way around. If we...
Okay.
Information that is found in the line of work as a Magi-Knight is confidential until otherwise said.
All right. Yeah, we'll run that by the rest of the group. I appreciate your your opinion. And then Damian's going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you get back in your car. You're able to head out and start heading over to the Sacred Hearts Church. I assume everyone is waiting for your arrival just at the outside of the parking lot. And it is now 9 o'clock, which means that it's time for an investigation. Or not investigation, I'm sorry, a patrol. You were just on your investigation. So yeah. So now it's time for a patrol. During this time, you as Magi-Knights skulk around the city looking for signs of cult activity or spectral outsiders or anything bizarre. You can do so by simply driving or walking around the city, or if you have someplace in particular you're wanting to focus on, you can say specifically where you want to go for your patrol. I will say that as Damian is pulling up to the church parking lot to pick up everybody, you do see that most of the people at the church are beginning to leave as well. It's 9 o'clock. They've all gathered up their things. They're heading to their cars. You do see a few people kind of wave at you in the distance as they're getting into their cars. But other than that, they pretty much leave you alone. And soon Damian's car comes around and you're all able to get inside. So, do you all have any place in particular you're wanting to go, or do you want to just patrol randomly?
Did we ever go to the power facility?
There was the power facility and the lumber place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking about doing the power facility tonight during last patrol phase.
Yeah, that was like our goal. I think we.
But I have an idea, if you will allow me, if nobody feels like really particularly strong about any given place.
I mean, from my recollection, we didn't have time to actually search the power facility or find anything there. But
yeah,
it may, it is the night after, so it may be a bust anyway. Those are just my 2 cents.
The power facility thing, like we were investigating something that we heard happened days prior.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. What's
and
your
we don't know if it's going to continue happening or not. So I would still be up for that, but I'm curious about David's idea.
Matt, can I have a slight scene before Damian comes and picks us up?
You can.
Just a quick 2 minutes. While we're waiting. Hey, Wanderer. Does he?
Yeah, he actually was with you still. So he's kind of just hanging out there with you. What's up, David?
Are you still connected to James?
He gives you a kind of a quizzical look. Oh, have you've been missing James lately? He walks over and kind of pats your foot a little bit. He says, "Yeah, I understand. I miss him too. But you have all these new people working with you now. Hopefully they'll fill the void that he and everyone else left."
Right. That's not. I got a feeling. Do you know where he is?
Can't say that I do. What's the old phrase? You see the ones you lost in the face of every child, on every corner, and in the shadows, lurking with every stranger.
Right, but you're connected to him and can go to him the same way you can come to us, or is that not? Do I not have that right?
the cat kind of pauses a little bit, and he gets this odd sort of look on his face. Then he kind of chuckles a little bit uncomfortably, and he's like, "Nah, sorry, what were we talking about?"
I look at him and I say, he asked you a question. Can you give a straight answer?
He gives another like odd sort of quizzical look, and like his ears kind of twitch quite a bit at that. He's like,
What's wrong?
It's okay, David. I understand you're feeling that loss. We all do. It's okay.
Did someone mess with your brain or something?
I think
No, my brain's pretty accurate.
I think David just kind of like holds out like a hand over to Melody and scratches behind the Wanderer's ears a little bit. It's like, never mind, it's all right.
Okay.
I'm just feeling off.
The cat kind of snuggles into your scritches a little bit and does that whole thing where with first the nose, then goes down the back and along the tail before pulling out those dragon wings once again. He flaps a little bit and kind of raises himself up, and he says, "It's so. I understand, David. But we need to get on patrol. It's getting pretty late, and oh look, there's Damian."
Yeah. Damn,
Damian's car.
I was hoping that since he's doing the investigation, we could find out where he is and just go investigate that place.
Damian's car pulls up, and as it does, the Wanderer kind of floats up a little bit over the door, kind of as though giving you the hint, "Hey, get in and get to work."
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go for a ride.
Where to? Power station?
I don't know.
I'd like to find out. What's up?
I want to point out where Aisha gets out of the passenger seat and goes in the back.
Yeah, it's tense. Tense in the car.
Wow.
Wait, did we update each other on both things that happened before?
I think
We
once
get-
everyone's in the car, we
Yeah.
talk about it, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to let Aisha fill everyone in before I chime in. See what she says.
Was it obvious how Damian was acting around Ronin and Levi, so that Aisha would maybe say that part or not?
What do you mean?
Like, since you were all distracted by Levi, and then I can't remember what you said.
I can give you like an actual in-character summary.
Okay, that sounds good.
So we got to the store. Loose lips up front. Kind of ruined any chance for us to get any more information out of Yuna. I don't know after I left to talk to you guys in Communicator if Damian actually got any more information or just ended up oogling this tall, strong, dark, and handsome man with he had blonde hair, didn't he, actually?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. This tall, blonde dude who was in there. I tried to follow Ronin for a while, but I was kind of getting a bad vibe, so I decided to circle back. It seemed like he was aware I was following. I wasn't like, I tried we just are walking in the same direction approach. Didn't work. So I ended up going back to the bookstore. We didn't get a lot of information, but I do think there's something going on in that neighborhood that we might be able to find. And I think north of the bookstore, this is just a gut feeling, Ronin might also be looking into something there. I know we're supposed to go to the power station, but maybe, that's already kind of a cold case file. Maybe we should strike while the iron's hot.
I live kind of north of the bookstore. But we, the church was creepy. There was lots of weirdness. Lots of weird hymns about, what was it, submitting to whatever. But they mentioned the Imperial Restaurant. That the chef is a parishioner and he does a soup kitchen to feed the hungry. I don't know if that place is of interest. And that's north of the bookstore, isn't it? Sort of.
It is.
Maybe.
I'm just putting that because it's just. But the church is very, very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Did any of you get any things on your soul gems?
I believe we tried last time and it didn't do anything. But there was weird hymns and weird trees and trees with doors. And he was saying that's all from the Bible. I don't know. Usually it's crosses. No, here it's trees. And about submitting to him. And
submission, that's just Christianity.
Yeah, but usually it's more praise the Lord. Not submit to the Lord.
The doors might be more literal. Last time, a lot of the cultists used reflective surfaces to as some sort of pathways.
Like the puddle in the park.
Yeah, that they could move through. These doors might be the way that the new cult is moving around if it's so heavily connected to this church, which it really kind of feels like.
So do we break into the church, or do we check out the Loropa power station to see if there's any remnants of what might have occurred there?
There's also the lumber yard. There was something about the lumber yard.
Yeah, they took the creepy tree there, or the haunted tree.
Yeah.
I wonder if they made that into something for this church.
Where's the lumberyard?
I haven't put it on the map yet, but I'll go ahead and do it. It's in the northeastern part of Loropa. I am going to put a mark right about now. At least I would have. You know what? I'm going to use this dark green color to represent trees.
Nice.
It is going to be...
My vote is for either the power station or the lumberyard.
I mean, if it's in the northeast, maybe we can drive by the power station on the way to the lumberyard.
Oh, that's way north.
Do we split up, gang?
Oh, it's up there. No, I don't want to split up.
Yeah, we could get in a fight, so no.
I mean, I can drive. It seems like I can drive past the Loropa power station and see if there's any activity, and if there's not, then we just continue north to the lumberyard.
I do have a question for Matt. How have all the people left the church that we saw, or
not yet? I imagine you're sitting there. You've been talking in the parking lot for about 5-10 minutes now, and you've watched as like 90% of the cars have been been filled up and have driven away. There are still lights on inside the church, and there are 2 cars remaining in the parking lot right now.
Okay.
If we were going to break into the church, I wouldn't want to do it the same day they saw all of you at the church.
And we might not want to wear our school uniforms at the church.
I don't think going to the church would do us much good. If I'm right, we couldn't use the doors anyway. So I think we should just use that as like a working theory for now, and
I think they'd get cult members from the church.
Yeah, we'll keep a watch on it. If something emerges from the church, then we're right.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of signs I feel like are pointing to this lumberyard. There's like connecting paths, like those ghost videos.
Well,
the symbolism of the tree at the church. There's a lot saying we should probably go to that lumberyard to me.
I don't know how the roads go, but if there's a way to go like by the power station and across the bridge towards the lumberyard, because it's sort of in the same direction. You could drive by the power station, but I don't expect there to be anything there at the moment.
We'd have to double back a little bit, but it's not too... It's, what, like 5... We'd turn around and go 5 blocks or so back to the bridge.
Actually, there is a bridge to the north of Loropa Power Station.
There is.
That you could... Yeah. There's a couple of them,
That's
actually.
what I'm seeing.
So you would be able to cross and make your way up to the lumberyard with minimal difficulty.
Yeah, this map was based on Chicago. That's why there's so many bridges.
Sure.
Or Portland.
I'll go with that. Portland, yeah, probably. I mean, it is a Pacific Northwest city.
Bridgetown.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got a game plan.
Cool. Then I take off for the power station on the way up to the lumberyard.
Okay. And you begin pulling away from the church. And as you do so, you do see that the lights on the interior have been turned off. As you're pulling out from the parking lot and are making your way to the east, you do see a lone figure of big shoulders, tall. It's dark, so you can't make out all the features, but you assume probably the pastor of the church has finally left for the night.
Cool.
You continue to make your way along the river, heading in a northeastern direction, heading towards the Loropa Power Station. You get to you drive for about 20 or so minutes, making your way along the river. You have your soul crystals out, planning, because you know that here in about 10 minutes you're going to get to the power station. As you're driving, your soul crystals flare with bright light. You are about right here on the map. I'm going to move you so you can see exactly where it is you are. You're about right here. Going along the river a ways. And you, I'm going to say, Kat, you've historically had your soul crystal out pretty much all the time. So I'm going to say it's probably in your hand. You're holding it. You are in shotgun. So you're just waiting, watching. And suddenly, whoosh, bright light. You know that at least somewhere nearby, something is going on.
I'm gonna hit the brakes hard once I see the light, assuming there's no other cars like directly behind me or anything like that.
There are not. It's actually pretty quiet on the streets at night.
And I'm gonna announce to everyone, like, looks like this is our stop. And then I'm gonna pull over and get ready to get out.
Okay. You pull over next to a large warehouse that's probably around 80 or so feet away from the river. You all get out, and as you do so, that the light from your crystal is glowing bright. All of you pull out your crystals as well, and you can see them quite clearly, glowing brightly. All of them. I need everybody to make me a mysticism check. I'm sorry, this is not everybody. This is a proficiency thing. Sorry. I remember somebody has proficiency in mysticism. Who is that?
That's me. I
Are you the only one?
I do as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the two of you need to make your mysticism checks.
Woo! I got a 25. That's a natural 20.
Oh, we read
One
the
nat 20
gamut.
and one nat 1. Oh, damn.
Wow.
Oh, my God. What are the odds?
That is impressive.
Yeah.
For audio listeners, Melody got a natural 20 and David got a natural 1.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Okay. So, you both clutch your soul crystals. David
dies.
You have a lot on your mind right now. No, you've just got a lot on your mind right now. There's some thoughts spinning in your head, some suspicions that are in there, and you're having a hard time focusing. But Melody, you are completely in tune with your crystal. You close your eyes, gripping that crystal tightly, and you extend your senses outward, and you can feel not far away, maybe about 50 or 60 feet to the northeast of you, along the river, you can sense spectral outsiders.
I say we need to go 60 feet along the river.
Lead the way.
Everyone, be ready to transform.
How do you all approach?
I think we should be as stealthily as possible. We don't know what we're walking into, and we should have our stealthiest person up front kind of scouting and be ready to transform at a moment's notice. I'm a very conspicuous when I transform, so a bright light.
Yeah.
If you will.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
To some degree.
That's an all of us thing.
And that's a very good point. Are you going to transform now while you're away? You can do so because your crystal is glowing. Or do you wait and approach stealthily and quietly? Well, I mean, you can still approach stealthily either way, but are you doing so in your student form or to remain inconspicuous, or are you transforming and just getting ready to go full throttle?
David, you have the most experience out of all of us. How often do these turn into battles? Like, should we transform now, or should we treat this like information gathering?
When these glow this bright, there is a spectral outsider that we will have to fight.
So what do you recommend?
Guns blazing?
Let's do it.
Let's transform, but still approach quietly to get the upper hand.
Everybody whisper your phrases.
We're not that close yet.
You're not that close. But I think, God, why do I keep hitting the wrong thing? It's okay.
So while they were talking about if we should transform or not, Melody just starts saying her transformation phrase and transforms. She's like, I don't even care. I'm transforming.
I will take it. I have a ribbon, so.
Well, I think this is actually an excellent place to end things for this evening. But before I do that, I'm going to show you, the players, what that map looks like.
Oh no.
Is this the scramble crossing? Like, with how little we can see?
You win.
Far out.
I like the world ends with you, okay?
You what?
I like the world ends with you, alright?
So do I.
I know what the scramble crossing looks like.
God. Okay, well, I think this is an excellent place to end things for this evening. Our Magi-Knights have uncovered another random spectral outsider showing. They have no idea what they're going to be in store for, but the plan is to go in full throttle, but still stealthily. So we'll see how well they're able to do that in 2 weeks. Now, as always, what's that?
I was just going to say blazing fire, just like quiet, trying not to turn attention. This giant aura of flame. Yeah.
For those who do watch Toku stuff, we're about as stealthy as the ninjas. they're the ninjas who don't remain silent. That's their tagline.
Ninjas?
Yeah, Shinobi Sentai Ninja.
Okay.
Never seen it.
It was it was the one from a couple years ago. I don't remember exactly.
Cat tries to be
Ninja with a G. Oh my god, this looks awesome.
Well, okay. Well, anywho, let's go ahead and go around the table and tell everybody who they are and where we can find you on the internet. Why don't we go ahead and start with Ashley?
Can find me here every second Wednesday. I don't know. I don't have much else online, so.
It's okay. But you're Ashleyien.
Yes,
so,
Ashleyien. I have stuff offline, but not online.
That's okay. Hana, you're next.
Hi, I'm Hana. I'm going to be your source seeker next week, next bye-week. And you can find me next on this Sunday, coming up, where I play my trans hacker girl in a game of City of Mist, Knights of Pain Town, where we're going to get into some trouble with Odin's mob. That's going to be a fun time. Beyond that, go on a different singularity roleplay. Beyond that, though, go onto Lost Caravan RPG and watch the Masked VOD, please. It's been one of my best performances ever, I think. I'm just going to shout that out also. But thanks for watching, and I can't wait to get into some battle next bye week.
Heck yeah. Los, you're next.
Yeah, you can find me on all the socials as PDX Homebrew. This is the only, live streaming thing that I'm doing, but that may change when Starfield drops. But I'll notify another time if that's the case.
Fair enough. Tensei.
Hi, I'm Tensei. I have been playing David Copeland, also known as Cacophony, the veteran Magi Knight who is here to protect all of those myriad hearts, since we didn't get to say our phrases.
Yes. Next time.
I've been mostly working behind the scenes. You will not see me on a lot of things, other than my flagship show, Bard Rock Cafe, available wherever you get podcasts. We have expanded into a network, and Wayfaring Strangers, a show with Marty, who is on Sonnet of Blood on the other Wednesdays, is a lead cast member, and we have kind of taken on their show, as well as we have another show launching in just a couple weeks, Dungeons and Dialogue. It started out as a D&D show, but has expanded a little bit in scope over the course of it, where they run explicit, pre-done modules, and then have a fireside chat after they're done with it to discuss what worked, what didn't, what they would have done better, any issues that have arisen because WotC can't get their act together. Session 0 is out right now. Again, Dungeons and Dialogue on whatever podcatcher you use, and I'm very excited. This is a project that's been a long time in the making. Over the next 6 months, we have another 8 shows coming out as well. So, good times all around.
Heck yeah. Kira, go next.
I'm Kira, and you can find me on any of the socials with either Magi-Knights or Magi_Knights. And I'm the assistant creator of Magi-Knights, and which was actually just released on PDF this week, and you can find it on DriveThruRPG. Yay! Finally.
Yay.
And then I also wrote the children's book, My Dad the Game Master, which you can find on Amazon.
Very cool. So yeah, go on Amazon, get that. Go on DriveThruRPG and pick that up. I just got my copy. I'm looking forward to sharing it with all y'all, so you can check that out. But in the meantime, I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and magic keeper here on the Random Rhapsody Network. You can find me every Monday and Wednesday here running games. This week I will not be on the Transverse. Unfortunately, I have to go out of town this weekend again. But they are going to be doing a one-shot in the time slot I'm normally in at 2 p.m. Central. So go to the Transverse, which is twitch.tv/the Transverse, and check out their one-shot this Saturday at 2 p.m. Central. Other than that, I think at the end of the month, I'm on the Bard Rock Cafe doing their one-shot called Rock Around the Clock. I think that's coming out at the end of this month. Make sure in 2 weeks. Yep. Thank you. So definitely go on Bard Rock Cafe and check out just at least that episode. At least that episode. Check out all of their stuff. All their stuff's great.
It's gonna be a two-parter. It's gonna be twice because you went for 5 hours.
That doesn't sound like me at all. What are you talking about? I would never go that long. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, but anyway, so check me out on Bard Rock Cafe's two-parter, Rock Around the Clock. Check me out here on Random Rhapsody every Monday and Wednesday. And so, on behalf of everyone here in the Random Rhapsody crew and with the Magi-Knights, I just want to say thank you, folks. It's been a delight. So long, good luck, and until next time, may your dreams be infinite. Good night.
Nighty night.
Night.
Cheers, everyone.